Welcome back to the channel. Something a little different for you today. I had a gift card with some extra money on it. I was at Target doing some Christmas shopping, and I saw these Bloomburrow play boosters, and I figured, why not? Let's crack some packs, see if we can get something good, and then I can maybe possibly build a deck around some of the good cards that I can find in these packs. So let's crack these packs, and let's see if we find something good. All right, first pack. Let's get this going. All right, we got a Might of the Meek. Great card for a mouse deck or a red aggro prowess deck. Starlit Soothsayer. Okay. Possible bat deck going. Target creature gets +1/+3 and gains reach until end of turn. Untap it. Kind of like a shore up, but for defense. Where it can untap the creature that you've already attacked with, which that's pretty good, especially because it gives +3 for 1 mana. So you can really get some good blocks out of that from a flyer. Oh wow, 2 mana counterspell. Controller pays 4 if you control a bird. This is a phenomenal counterspell, especially at common for a bird deck. Intrepid Rabbit. When this creature enters, target creature you control gets +1/+1 till end of turn. Not that great for 3 mana. Heaped Harvest. This is a good card. Definitely great for a ramp deck. Definitely great for a domain deck, so you can start getting those cards and you can gain life at the same time. This is a great card. Fountainport Bell. All right, that's not bad. Maybe better for a commander card or something. Persistent Marsh Stalker. We got a rat. This is kind of like Rat Colony, where you get +1/+0 for each other rat you control. I'm definitely going to be adding this to my Rat Colony deck, just as a one-of if I only get one in these packs. Just because it does the same thing as the other card for the same amount of mana, but then if you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard, you can pay 3 and bring this back to the battlefield tapped and attacking. So the biggest downfall of a Rat Colony deck is that you're going to have a whole bunch of creatures in your graveyard that you're not going to be able to get back on the battlefield, especially if you run out of cards in your hand. So this is a great card. Otterball Antics. Create a otter token with prowess. Put 1 more counter on that creature. All right. All right, we got a Rabbit Druid. Whenever you attack, target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. If that creature is a token, it also gains Death Touch. All right, so this would be great for a Selesnya Rabbit token deck, which I've seen. You know, these are older cards, like a couple sets ago, so we've seen all the decks that can really be made out of these. So this is a card I didn't really see in any of them, but it wouldn't be that bad of an ad. All right, we got Wix Patrol. It's a rat warlock. Mill 3 cards, and when you do, target creature and opponent controls gets -X/-X on the turn. For X of the greatest mana value among cards in your graveyard. All right, it's a pretty expensive card, to be honest. I really wouldn't cast something for 6 mana like that in a standard or a 60-card deck. 3 Tree City. There we go. This is the big boy right here. This card is great for any kind of tribal deck. You can put this in a goblin deck, an elf deck, anything that's tribal where every single creature is going to be all one type, which is exactly what this set was trying to do. This is a phenomenal card. Great pull. And we got a full art island that is a hologram. It's pretty nice right there. Poliwhop. Spell costs 1 less to cast for each frog you control. Target creature you control deals damage equal to twice its power to target creature you don't control. So this is amazing, almost like a fight spell for a frog deck, just because if you have a bunch of frogs out in the field, this is going to cost 1 mana. You double the power of one of your frogs, and then boom, take out that creature. And a rabbit token. Well, that was a great pack. I'm excited to see what the other packs are going to hold. So let's get the other packs going and see what we get. Pack number 2. All right. We got Pearl of Wisdom. Spell costs 1 less to cast if you control an otter. So it's a 2 mana, draw 2. That's not bad, especially if you're playing an otter prowess deck. This is a great way to trigger prowess and to get more cards in your hand to trigger more prowess. Rabbit response. Creatures you control get +2/+1 until end of turn. If you control a rabbit, scry 2. That's okay. That's not bad. All right, we got a lizard. When this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to the target player. That's not that great either. Bonebind Orator. Exile it from your graveyard. Return another target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. That's not that bad for 2 mana, but then you have to pay 4 for the return spell. There's cheaper ways of getting things from your graveyard back to your hand for sure. Another Polywop, like we said before, it's great for a frog deck, a great removal spell. Veteran Guard Mouse, a 4 mana mouse soldier. Whenever Veteran Guard Mouse becomes a target of a spell or ability you control for the first time each turn, it gets +1/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn, scry 1. So mice are all about getting targeted with auras or spells and stuff like that. So this is a good top end, but I don't know if I'd put it in a deck, to be honest. Light Shell Duo. Here's the duo sets where they have 2 different creature types, so it can fit in a lot of different decks. This has prowess, 4 mana, and it surveils 2. Galewind Moose. 6 mana, 6/6 flash with vigilance, reach, and trample. I feel like if you have a creature that has flash and you leave 6 mana open, that people are going to find that kind of suspicious on their turn. Long River Lurker, Frog Scout. Other frogs you control have ward 1. This is great. Going to protect all your frogs from any kind of kill spells or anything like that. Whenever it enters, target creature you control can't be blocked this turn. Whenever that creature deals combat damage this turn, you may exile it. If you do, return to the battlefield under control. Yeah, so frogs are all about bouncing, which makes sense because they're frogs and they bounce around. So they're all about their ETB effects getting repeated over and over again. So this is a great card. Seedglaive Mentor. All right, we've got a Vigilance Haste Mouse. Whenever it becomes a target of a spell or ability you control for the first time each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on it. This is kind of like Heartfire Hero, except it's 3 mana and has Vigilance and Haste. So the Vigilance is huge, especially because you're going to be putting spells on this every turn, so it's going to get bigger and bigger, and you can leave it back on defense while still attacking. Stocking the Pantry. Whenever you put 1 or more +1/+1 counters on a creature you control, put a supply counter on Stocking the Pantry. Pay 2 to remove it and draw a card. This is not bad, especially because green decks don't have very good card draw most of the time. This is a good way for 1 mana, especially if you're playing a +1/+1 counter deck. You're going to get tons and tons and tons of counters on this thing, so you could just constantly draw cards. Dowerport Mage is a frog wizard. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control leave the battlefield without dying, draw a card. Return another target creature you control to its owner's hand. So it's another way to just start bouncing things when you already have this on the battlefield. This will just be an engine for your frogs to consistently bounce. You got a full art forest in the wintertime, which is pretty cool. Sazakap's Brew for 2 mana. Gift a tapped fish. As an additional cost to cast a spell, discard a card. Target player draws 2 cards. If the gift was promised, target creature you control gets +2/+0 till end of turn. That's an awful card. And an art card. All right. Not as good as the first pack, but not bad. So let's get into that last pack and see if we can end this video on a banger. All right, we got Druid of the Spade. As long as you control a token, Druid of the Spade gets +2/+0 and has trample. So like I said, Selesnya rabbit decks, this would be a 4/3 with trample. And you're gonna have tons of rabbit tokens, so this is not that bad of a card especially for a common. It's a bird frog. When it enters, exile up to 1 other target creature you control, return to the battlefield under its own control to be. Yeah, so another more it's flying. and it also bounces, but for 5 mana, I wouldn't keep that card. Life Creed Duo, a bat bird where it has flying. It's kind of like the rabbit, where it gives you a life every time a creature you control enters, which is very helpful for bat decks for sure. They're all about that life gain and pinging themselves for extra effects. Take out the trash. Take out the trash deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If you control Raccoon, you may discard a card if you do draw a card. See, now this is great. If you have a Gruul deck, it's a 3 damage. It's just like Lightning Strike, but it adds that extra. If you have a Raccoon, you can kind of cycle some cards out of your hands that really aren't working for you. So this is pretty good for common, especially if you're making a Raccoon deck. Ravine Raider, 1 mana menace, lizard rogue, gets +1/+1. Cindering Cutthroat, lizard assassin. It enters with a +1/+1 counter on it if an opponent lost life this turn. Which lizards are all about pinging your opponents for life, so this will always come in as a 4/3 for 3, and you can give it menace. That's not bad. Nettle Guard becomes a target of a spell or ability you control for the first time each turn. It gets +0/+2. You can sacrifice it to destroy an artifact or enchantment. That's not bad, because there's a lot of enchantments and artifacts right now, so this is a good card to have. Oak Hollow Village. It's a green land that you can put a 1/1 counter on each frog, rabbit, raccoon, or squirrel you control that enter the battlefield this turn. So if you're running a rabbit deck, this is almost, if you're running a Selesnya rabbit deck, this is almost a must. If you're doing Hop to It and you're adding 3 1/1s to the field, or whatever you're doing, or you have the Heir Apparent from the new set, and you're putting in a ton of rabbit tokens, you can just pay 1 and tap this, and now you have all 2/2s. This is great. And the Heir Apparents would be 3/3s. This is definitely a must-add for a Selesnya rabbit deck. Reptilian Recruiter for 5 mana. 4/2 trample. When it enters, choose target creature. If that creature's power is 2 or less, you control another lizard. Gain control of that creature until end of turn. Untap it and gains haste till end of turn. That's awful. Fireglass Mentor. We got, at the beginning of your second main phase, if an opponent lost life this turn, exile top 2 cards of your library. Choose one of them. Until end of turn, you may play that card. So, yeah, this lizard deck is all about pinging. And your second main phase, you're going to get a bunch of extra bonuses for doing that pinging. Short Bow. Quick creature gets +1/+1 and has vigilance and reach for 2 mana, and you equip it with 1. I mean, if you need to target a creature with something like for a mouse deck, then I guess. Hired Claw. This is the very popular card in mono red aggro right now. Whenever you attack with 1 or more lizards, it deals 1 damage. So basically, you're putting you're dealing 1 damage no matter what when you swing in with this. And then for 2, you can put a 1/1 counter on it, and then it says activate only if an opponent lost life this turn, and only once each turn. So basically every turn, because you're going to ping them for that 1 when it attacks. We got the full art Swamp. Seed Pod Squire for 4. It is a bird scout. Whenever Seed Pod Squire attacks, target creature you control without flying gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Okay, if you're playing a bird deck, though, you're not going to really have a lot of creatures that don't have flying because they're all birds. And an art card of a little mouse with a sword. All right, so those are the packs. The first pack definitely was the All-Star for sure, with the 3-Tree City. This is definitely the, let's see if we can find it. This is definitely the all-star of this video for sure. I'm very happy that I got one of these. I want to add this to probably, I don't even know which deck. I have a lot of tribal decks, so this is definitely going to be a must-add for one of those. But if you like videos like this and you want to see me crack more packs, definitely leave a comment below. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the algorithm things. And we'll see you tomorrow for another one.